This conference will now be recorded.
I'd like to call to order the February meeting of the Kernersville Planning Board. I'd like to call on Jeff Hetling to speak about the format for the remote meeting. Jeff?
Yeah, so anybody who wishes to speak at the planning board would call in. The number is on the planning board agenda that's located on the Town of Kernersville website and the town government. Our IT office will answer your call and put you in. Tonight, when we call, I know that's out there who is available to speak is on our final development plan. They will not be on the phone, but they are available. We wish for them to call. They're watching live.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. Next item on our agenda is the board roll call. Diane Byers.
Present.
You say present, yeah. Tom McDaniel.
Present.
Luann Davis.
Present.
Chris Oakman. Nathan Meyer.
Present.
Steve Hutchins.
Present.
Jim Freidenberg.
It's muted.
Okay. He's here. Margaret Burks.
Here.
Joe Ornstein.
Present.
And Jim Waddell. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for the January 11th, 2021 Planning Board meeting. What's the pleasure of the board?
I move for the approval as submitted.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. We'll go through another roll call vote. Diane Byers, yea or nay?
Approve, yes.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Freidenberg. I think your mic's off, Jim. Margaret Burks,
Approve.
Joe Ornstein,
Approve.
and I approve also. So the motion is carried. Next item is the public sessions. These are the ones where we held the public hearing in January. So we will not redo the public hearings, but we will take action whether we approve the text amendment. First one is the text amendment, Curtis Swisher, agent for the town of Kernersville, for a proposed zoning text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, amending the Unified Development Ordinance permitted use tables. Amendments is proposed to add residential building townhomes to the RM 18 zoning district. This is zoning docket KT 246. What's the pleasure of the board?
I move for the approval.
I second.
Nathan second. Diane Byers,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Freidenberg,
Approve.
Margaret Burks,
Approve.
Ornstein,
Approve.
and Jim Waddell approves also, so it's unanimous. Next text amendment is Curtis Swisher, agent for the town of Kernersville, for a proposed zoning text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, amending Chapter B, C, and D. Amendment addresses parcels with split jurisdictions as specified in the new state statute 160D. This is zoning docket KT 248. What's the pleasure of the board?
Make a motion, we approve as submitted.
Just a second.
A second.
Diane Byers,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Frattenberg,
Approve.
Margaret Burks,
Approve.
Joe Ornstein,
Approve.
and Jim Waddell approves. Passes unanimously. Next item, Curtis Swisher, agent for the town of Kernersville for a proposed zoning text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, amending chapters A, B, and C. Amendment addressing requirements to update any reference provisions, GS chapter 160A, 153A, to indicate provisions of the new state chapter 160B, zoning docket KT 249. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve.
Second. Is there a second?
I second it.
Okay. Diane Byers,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Frattenberg,
Approve.
Margaret Burks,
Approve.
Joe Ornstein,
Approve.
and Jim Waddell approves also. Next item is text amendment, Curtis Swisher, agent for the town of Kernersville, for a proposed zoning text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, amending Chapter B. The amendment is addressing requirements to broaden conflict of interest standards for governing and advisory boards as specified in the new state statute, Chapter 160D. This is zoning docket KT 250. It's the pleasure of the board.
I move for the approval.
For a second.
A
I'll
second.
second. Diane.
Okay. Diane Byers,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Frattenberg,
Approve.
Margaret Burks,
Approve.
Joe Ornstein,
Approve.
and Jim Waddell approves also. The last one is the text amendment, Curtis Swisher, agent for the town of Kernersville, for a proposed zoning text amendment to the Unified Development Ordinance, amending various sections of the Unified Development Ordinance. Amendment is proposed in order to comply with the conditional zoning terminology requirements as defined within GS 160D and 102.7, zoning docket KT 251. What's the pleasure?
Jim?
Yeah.
Jim,
Yeah.
I got one, Luann pointed out one change that needed to be made. I'm gonna share my screen. So in this text amendment, everything special changed to conditional and all S's changed to the C. And Luann, when she was looking through, she noticed on tables 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3, the S was still showing, so that needs to be struck out and the C added. So every place where there's an S needs to be striked out and the C added under tables 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3. So staff recommends approval as presented in the staff report and the modifications just expressed for tables 2.1, 2.2, and 2.3.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the board?
Motion
Make
to
a
approve.
Who made the motion? Who made the motion for approval?
I just made a motion to approve with the changes.
Yeah. Okay, who made the motion?
Steve Hutchins.
Okay, you with that, Steve? The approval of the text amendment with the changes suggested by staff?
That's correct.
Okay, made the second?
I second it.
You okay with that wording, Margaret?
Yes.
Okay. Diane Byers,
I approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Frattenberg,
Approve.
Margaret Burks,
Approve.
Joe Ornstein,
Approve.
and what else approved too. Good. The next item is a public session. It's a final development plan for Tar Group LLC, agent for owner for a final development plan approval of site plan entitled Kernersville Dental Office in the NUS two-phase zoning district for property located at 1472 Jag Ranch Boulevard, being a portion of PIN number 6874392605, containing 0.72 plus or minus acres. Petitioner is requesting approval of the second phase of a two-phase special use district zoning. The uses is medical and surgical offices. Zoning docket K719 FDP TR4.
I'll share my screen, Chairman Waddell.
Okay.
So as described by the chairman, this is a final development plan. This is located within Smith Crossing. This is for a medical and surgical office, just north of the new McDonald's and the future Starbucks that we just recently approved. It's on 0.72 acres. The site plan is basically, it's for a dental office located adjacent to Union Cross Road with parking in front along Jag Branch. Also, as illustrated, there's the office, the building itself is conformed to the overlay districts requiring brick facade. And so the site plan meets all parking and landscaping and building requirements. Recommendation, approval of the site plan and conditions as presented in the staff report.
Any questions to staff at this point? Okay, what's the pleasure of the board?
I move for the approval.
Okay, a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Diane Byers,
Approve.
Tom McDaniel,
Approve.
Luann Davis,
Approve.
Nathan Meyer,
Approve.
Steve Hutchins,
Approve.
James Frattenberg,
Approve.
Margaret Burks,
Yes.
Joe Ornstein,
Approve.
and I approve also, so it's a unanimous decision. Last item on our agenda is a public hearing, but the petitioner has requested to postpone it until Monday, April 12th meeting at 6 p.m. and it will be held as similar remotely as this meeting is done. So the next item is public comments. Do we have anybody holding who wish to address the board?
No, sir, there's no one holding.
Okay, thank you. Staff updates, Jeff?
As mentioned, the public hearing on County Line Road will be continued to our April meeting. When I do get a site plan, I plan on distributing that to the planning board listserv, and also the adjacent property owners. Along with the site plan, I'll give a short summary of the difference between a planned residential development that's being proposed and a conventional subdivision. I know in the past, we've had some PRDs. The adjacent property owners had some concerns when there's rezoning, but to explain what a planned residential development, a conventional project is, we'll be sharing that information. The developer has requested a continuance of the hearing to April to allow for more public participation. He's going to continue to reach out to the surrounding area. For the March meeting, we have a rezoning case on Salisbury Crossing, a proposed senior apartment building. You may recall about 9 months ago, we did a VA housing planning board review, and this is right across the street. So if you go down Salisbury, going across Business 40, there's a daycare, a dental office, a small office, and a vacant property. So they're looking at a senior housing project there that requires rezoning. It was originally zoned for office, and this would be a senior housing project. There'll be also a planning board. The planning board hearing. There will also be a Kernersville Development Plan amendment for that project. We'll also be recommending a Kernersville Development Plan amendment for the grocery store site out on North Main Street. The Board of Aldermen with the mayor tying a vote. It was a tie vote, so the mayor voted. It passed 3-2. And so we'll do an amendment that allows for the grocery store in a Kernersville Development Plan, just kind of a cleanup to the land use plan out on North Main Street. So that's about it. We're still working on 160D amendments like we did tonight. Right now, we're in the process of hiring to replace Rochelle and our GIS person. So we're hopefully by 1st of March, Rochelle's replacement will be in, and we can get back to some of those text amendments. All those are due by July of this year. So that's just kind of a quick update. Oh, one other thing. We do not know what's going into Wendy's. I can't say, not to spread rumors or anything, but typically when a franchise moves out of a building, they will change the colors and design of the building so it does not look like an abandoned restaurant. For instance, when Pizza Hut closed, you may recall when Pizza Hut moved out, they modified their exterior. So driving by, you don't think it's an abandoned Pizza Hut. So there's a good chance Wendy's may have moved out. Their sign is gone, of course. And it's not uncommon to see when a franchise moves out that the building design changes, but we have not heard anything or any plans for that building.
Can you tell us at least it's not a mattress store?
I cannot tell you that.
Okay, thank you. Plan board comment? Diane, you got anything?
No, I don't. Thank you.
Okay. Tom?
Jeff, is that state employee credit union? Is it coming in across from Harris Teeter? Is that still on plan?
Yeah, we've had some. Yes, it is still planning to move forward. We've done some plan reviews. I think my guess is they're building several of them around the state, and so it's just a matter of getting in line for the next construction. But yes, we've reviewed some civil drawings and so forth, but I'm sure we'll soon see the building drawings.
Okay, thank you.
Luann?
No, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Nathan?
I have nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Steve?
I have nothing. Thank you.
James Brentberg?
I'm good, thanks.
Okay. Margaret Burks?
No.
Joe?
I'm here, thank you.
Okay. Anything else that needs to be brought before the board? Okay. Now I declare the planning board meeting in adjournment. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, everybody.
This conference is no longer being recorded.